Hey guys, in this video we're just going to talk about how psychology and the surfer's mindset can help you land more airs and also just improve your surfing overall. So we're going to look at a video from Chipper Wilson, well, a couple really, but this is a wonderful air reverse by Chipper Wilson just here, and then this next clip is a straight air, I believe. And we're just going to talk about what the surfer's thinking when they're pumping down the line and they're going to approach a section, and how they keep their mindset positive and keep fear out of the mind so that they can stay confident and land. Because what happens when your mind gets absorbed by fear is it causes your body to tense up, your shoulders tense up, your legs tense up, everything tenses up. And it also shuts down parts of your brain that help with balance and also help with sort of your peripheral vision as well. You get tunnel vision, which isn't good. So when we do airs, we want to make sure that and any progressive or advanced maneuver in surfing, like even just a carve or a cutback, these can all be done at varying degrees of difficulty. But we want to be making sure that we do it with 100% commitment. And as waves get a little bit bigger or a little bit suckier, things can get a little bit more scary, and the consequences of falling can increase. However, it's really important that surfers make sure that they're in control of their mind when they're doing airs. And to do really, really good airs and to be a really good surfer, you do have to battle fear. You do have to be able to accept the fact that, yes, I could fall off and I could go under the wave and get sucked under for a while, or I could hurt myself. The board could hit me in the head, or I could land on my fins. But there's certain things that I want to teach you in this video that will stop that from happening, and we'll go through them point by point. And this is just, you're not going to have problems anymore after watching this video with being scared of doing airs and also any hesitations that you may have at the end, because a lot of it is psychology and a lot of it is your mindset. Um, and surfing, people see it as a very relaxed sort of sport and, just go with the flow, whatever. But surfing is, if you want to surf at a high level and do really advanced maneuvers, you need to have commitment. You need to hit that lip and you need to throw your body out towards the beach with 100% commitment. And you need to stop caring about the landing and how impactful it'll be. I've launched off some pretty hectic closeouts and landed in the flats, and I've been fine. I haven't hurt myself. My board hasn't hit me. It's actually, in my experience, a very low likelihood that you'll hurt yourself. It's just all in the mind. And the wave in the section always seems so much bigger and scarier than what it really is. Like, if you get your surfing videoed and you get filmed, what happens is you actually will go out there and you go surfing and you'll hit a big section, and then you'll land out in the flats and you won't land it. And then you go back and you look at the clip and you go, hey, that wave's nowhere near as big and scary as I thought it was I thought it was. And that's when you look at surf videos like this. If you're out there, you might think that this is a massive section, but this really isn't that big of a section. But when you're out there surfing, that can look like a pretty solid wave. So it's really, really important to be an advanced surfer and to moving from intermediate to advanced. And also, if you're advanced and you just want to become, pro level or just surfing at an elite level, the mindset is really, really important. So the first thing, so point number one is find the root cause of the fear. And so what is it that's making you fearful? And it's usually always the consequence or the perceived consequence of the fear. And so if you're afraid of, say, um, being embarrassed, a lot of people, when they're moving from intermediate to advanced and they start to learn to do, advanced maneuvers like re-entries or roundhouse cutbacks or airs or blowtails, it's embarrassing when you try them and you fall off, because you might think that, oh, that guy saw me and he probably thinks I'm not ready for even doing airs like this. And it is a very big thing. Surfing has a large population of tall poppy syndrome in and amongst it, and it's actually really toxic and it stops people from advancing their surfing. While you're trying to do airs, you're still just an intermediate. Well, mate, I've seen a lot of intermediates land punts, and they can't do a cutback, but they landed a bunny hop off the end of the wave. So it's your mindset. So what's the cause of the fear? Maybe it's the shallow reef. You don't want to get cut up. It's being embarrassed. Maybe you don't want the board to hit you. You're afraid of the board hitting you. Maybe you have a fear of drowning and you don't want to drown and get sucked under for a while. Once you actually identify these fears, it can be easy to then determine whether that's physically possible in that session. So, for example, if you're out there in 3 foot waves and you're launching off 2 foot sections and you're afraid of, you know, um, you're afraid of potentially being embarrassed because you didn't land the airs. Well, that's sort of irrational thinking because people out there that are surfing, a lot of people can't even do them, let alone get close, and let alone even leave the lip and go into the air and rotate or to travel through the air. Most people can't even get up and stand up on 2 foot waves and do a turn. So it's the embarrassment is something that's just in your head. That's not going to be the case. Maybe it's a shallow sandbar or it's a shallow reef and you're afraid of hitting the bottom and hurting yourself. Um, Look, if you do our air safety course that we've got, it's all about doing airs and currently we're working on it. But if you do airs and how to stay safe, no, don't break your legs, how to not hit the board and all these things, how to not drown, all that stuff. Uh, if you do that, but also just use basic ocean safety. So like if you fall off and you're doing the air and you're about to, you're not going to make it, keep your arms inside the vehicle. Keep your arms close to your chest. Don't straighten your legs out. Compress your legs. Keep your legs curled up, and you won't hit the bottom. And if you do, you're not going to break a bone. You're not going to get cut really, unless you stick your feet out and you sort of straighten your legs out like a lot of guys do. Then you pin drop into the bottom. You're going to hit the bottom. But if you curl up in a ball and bomb drop, you're not going to hit the bottom most likely. So that's another irrational fear. Unless you're launching off some stupid sand dredging closeout and it's literally like sucking sand off the ground, off the seabed, then you're not going to have problems. Uh, the other thing, maybe hurting yourself. Just talked about that. If you know how to fail and stack properly and fail properly, skateboarding, they talk about that. They talk about it in snowboarding as well, how to fail an air or a jump or a trick safely. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't straighten your legs out. When you land, compress your body. All these things make up to being safe. So that sort of fear is irrational. So if you can identify the root cause of the problem of why you're feeling that way and go, why are you scared? Okay, it's because of the shallow reef. Okay, what do I know about? So why is the shallow reef going to hurt my bones, or like why am I scared of the shallow reef? Okay, because I might get cut up, or I might break a bone, or hit the bottom and it will hurt. And it's scary. Okay, but is that really going to happen? Most of the time, it's not, unless you're going to surf chopu. So a lot of the time these mental things are just mental barriers, and it can help to do other sports like bungee jumping or even go snowboarding. It exposes your body to a lot of different things in your brain, and so then surfing doesn't seem so scary. Surfing's really very, very not a scary sport, really. When you're snowboarding, going down a massive, big 5 kilometer steep ass mountain, and you're jumping off cliffs, that's scary. Surfing, you're just launching off a 3 foot face. You're going to land in some soft water. Most of the time, it's not that bad. You're just thinking that it's bad. And if anyone picks on you for trying to do airs or try to surf better, tell them to just tell them to ping off. Don't listen to people that are haters. It's not. Who cares? Like it's just a reflection of their insecurities, really. Um. So yeah. So the other thing that I'll also talk about is practicing visualization. So this is a form of meditation, and um, it's used in careers which are very like stressful careers. So like ambulance workers, people in the military, surgeons, and extreme athletes. And you're considered an extreme athlete if you're a surfer because it's an extreme sport. Um, Visualization is the practice of sitting down and meditating. And meditating is different because you're not thinking about anything. It's the whole idea of meditating. But with visualization, you're thinking about something specific, and you're mind surfing. When you mind surf, you're imagining being on this wave and you're doing a bottom turn, doing a turn, you're doing. So visualization is really important. However, if you have a fear, so if you're afraid of something right now, you're sitting there, you're watching a computer or your phone, and you're afraid of something, if something's stopping you from doing airs or attempting that maneuver or whatever it is, right? Or surfing in that certain surf spot, um, I want you to grab that in the air right now. Hold it here. And what is that fear? And I want you to say what that fear is out loud to me. And I'm not going to hear it, but say I'm scared of being embarrassed, or I'm scared of big waves, or I'm scared of the shallow reef or the shallow sandbar. Okay. Hold that here. I've heard it. And then essentially, I want you to let go of it and then close your eyes. And I want you to imagine exactly, and I know you haven't closed your eyes yet, but if you close your eyes right now, and I want you to imagine yourself in that situation, instead of imagining yourself in that situation in a negative way, I want you to imagine yourself. So, for example, if you're scared of a shallow reef, I want you to imagine yourself paddling into a wave, taking off on that wave at that certain surf spot that you're afraid of, standing up on your surfboard, and then you're looking down and you're seeing that shallow reef, but instead you keep surfing and you ride the whole wave all the way through. You surf top to bottom, you pull into the barrel, whatever it is that you're afraid of doing, and then you do your big air at the end or whatever, and then that wave was successful and you didn't hurt yourself on that reef. Okay, cool. Now I want you to open your eyes. Okay, now I want you to take a deep breath, release that air. Okay, and then I want you to take another deep breath in, and then imagine yourself surfing and doing that fear again and going through that experience, but coming out the other side positively. So if it's an air and if you're afraid of launching off an end section and you're afraid of breaking an ankle or a bone, imagine yourself launching off that end section, stomping it into the flats and riding out, and everything's completely fine. When you do visualization, your subconscious and your conscious doesn't actually understand what's reality and what's just your imagination. And then in your subconscious, it thinks that, okay, everything was fine. I went through that experience in real life and everything was fine. Okay, so next time you go surfing, you may have a tiny fear, but you won't be anywhere near as scared as you were before. So visualization, I want you to look it up. There's also a really good book. It's called The Surfer's Mind. And it's a guy, and he goes through how to do visualization and surfing and how to tackle your mind as a surfer. And I think it's done by, he's like a big wave surfer or something like that. But really good book. It goes through that sort of thing. So, and the next thing is I want you to start to go out in conditions that are ever so slightly more scary than what you used to surf. Or I want you to expose yourself to that fear a little bit. So, say if you're afraid of a shallow reef, right? Go and surf. Like, there's always baby reefs. There's always like surf spots that are like male surf spots, or they're like places where like it's a reef, but you're not going to hurt yourself. It's too deep. It's a fat wave, or the reef's not very dangerous at all. Go out in a spot like that. Don't go straight to the spot with the sharp razor edge reef that's super super drainy. It's like a slab or whatever it is, or it's like some wedgy thing. Don't go there. Go and practice on like a baby reef. Get some experience. Surf with the Mao riders. Get you experience surfing over the top of the rocks. Get a little close to the rocks. Maybe ski surf a little bit. And then as you get more comfortable with that, when you go out on that scarier spot, it's not that big of a challenge. And the same goes for airs. Maybe if you're too scared to do airs, right, to do big punts off end sections, just practice doing chop hops. Go along the wave, go up to the top and just do a little bunny hop. Just do a little bunny hop and then land and then do it again. Do another bunny hop. Just pop off the back foot and then land. Don't try to do some massive big air launching off the top. Just hop it. Just do little hops. And then you'll get confident and go, okay, so that's what it feels like. And then you go for the big air at the end section. You know what it feels like to commit and have those feet stick to that board and land. And you know how to absorb it and ride out. You know how it feels. You know you've done the little bunny hops, right? It feels pretty similar to doing a big air. It's just a little bit more pressure, a bit more ricocheting, a bit more impact when you land. So these are that's something. So just micro exposure. Expose yourself a little tiny bit to the air. or to the challenge or to the fear that you have. And there's another one that I've got for you as well. Surround yourself with positive people. So you need to be surfing with a buddy. So I suggest find someone that's a much better surfer than you. Probably not like 10 times better than you, but someone that's like a couple levels more. So say the maximum you can do in your level is maybe you can just do cutbacks and like a little lip line floater at the end. Maybe make friends with someone that can surf a bit better. Maybe they can surf top to bottom, right? But they can't do airs or they can't do, like really, really sharp, intense turns. But they can, that they can surf a bit. In yourself, like, he surfs a bit better than me. He's like above me, whatever. Make friends with that guy or that girl, right? And go surf with them. Make friends with them. Make buddies. Get their phone number. Go for a catch. When do you go surfing? Oh, you go surfing before work at like 6. Okay, yeah, cool. I'll meet you. What do you reckon tomorrow? Oh, probably like Bronte, whatever. Okay, cool. I'll see you there. Meet them there. Go for a surf with them. Maybe grab a beer with them or something like that, and just make friends with those people because they're always going to like give you tips on how to improve as well. And then the other thing is when you see them surfing and exposing themselves to challenges that are a little bit more scary or more out there than what you're used to, then it's going to only allow you to go, okay, well, if he stepped foot over there, then I guess that's okay for me too. Oh, if he sat behind the rock at snapper and caught that wave, I guess I can too. What's stopping me? He's not that much better than me. Or he launched off that big end section near the rocks there. Maybe I can do that too. And so these things, or if he took off on that big wave, that big set wave, I guess there's not much of, it's not that hard. Surely it's not that hard. But if, on the other hand, if you make friends with someone that's like, you're here, and then you make friends with like, Italo Ferreira, um, what he's doing will scare you. It'll go the opposite way. You will see that it's like a 6.5 foot, 7 or 8 foot section, and he's like pumping the line and launching off a backside air reverse into the flats. It's going to be pretty intimidating for you because you're going to go, oh crap, he's so much better than me. I can't do that. Oh, I shouldn't be out here. And then it's going to sort of humble you, which is good, but it's also bad if you're in that stage in your surfing where you need to get better. So make friends with a surfer and surf with a surfer or a group of boys or a group of girls that are a little bit better than you. It's usually within age groups. So if you're 14 years old, go surfing with the 16-year-old boys or go surfing with the 18 or 20-year-old boys, right? They usually got a few more years experience. They might be able to do better turns and airs than you, and they might be able to take off on bigger waves than you. If you're 30 years old or you're 20 years old, right? Surf with a 25-year-old, surf with a 30-year-old surfer, right? That's doing much better in the border riders than you. Make friends with them. Surf with them. If you're 40, go surf with someone that's more experienced and better surfer than you, and then that is potentially shredding more than you. Ask him, mate, you're getting a little older. Like, how are you staying flexible? How are you able to do snaps like that, whatever, like that? And he'll go, oh, I do this, I do this, I do this, right? And so he'll give you advice. And it's amazing seeing other surfers do what you can do, and they're not that much better than you. So then it makes you believe that, oh, okay, well, if he can do that, then I guess I can start to try to do that as well. So that's the other tip that I have for you to face your fears. And the final thing that I want to talk about is come to terms with the purpose behind what you're trying to do. So if your goal is for this year 2025, and that goal is to land your first air reverse, then the fear of launching off the end section and rotating out into the flats, it all of a sudden, because you're like, I cannot go to New Year's Eve 2025 and not have landed an air reverse. And if you're that serious about your surfing progression, you will be out there at midnight trying to stomp an air before the clock turns 12 a.m. before the year 2026. And you need to take it that seriously. Otherwise, you won't get better. To do an air reverse, you need to attempt that many times. You need to attempt it over and over and over and over and over again. And you will have the most frustrating sessions known to man. Because you're trying to do stuff that not everyone can do. If it was easy, everyone would chuck air reverses every day on every wave. But it's not. It's not like doing a cutback. There's so many factors at play: the wind, gravity, your weight, your surfboard, the lip, the direction that you launch, the level of pop that you got, your foot positioning, your fins, the shape of your rails. All these things come into play, and it becomes something that you get really good at over time and just practice. But if you understand the right techniques, obviously, the right techniques, the right timing, you can eliminate a lot of those years of trying. Um, and you can get it done a lot quicker, especially people that are in our academy. They get their Aeroverse game done a lot quicker than the other people that don't sign up for the academy. They just know what they need to do, and then they get that done. They don't learn bad habits, etc. But if your purpose is this year, I want to link 3 maneuvers together, 3 power surfing, rail surfing maneuvers together. Then all of a sudden, like taking off on those bigger 4-foot set waves don't really scare you as much. If your goal is, I want to land my first straight air this year, um, then the fear of launching off big end sections or maybe launching into shallow reef or shallow sandbar doesn't really scare you as much. It's something that is just a necessary thing to overcome to get to what you want to do, to get to where you need to be. Now, and I go back to visualization because sometimes it takes a bit of visualization to break through the fear. So say you really, really would like to start to do Aeroverses in your board riders comps. And you're at this local board riders event, maybe you get along with all the boys, maybe you don't get along with all the boys. You might have some rivalry between you and another bloke that's there, and you want to like show them what you're worth. Like you want to show your board riders club, like, hey, I'm better than this guy. And maybe that means you chucking an Aeroverse on your first wave in the heat, or maybe chucking it on the bell, right? And sometimes it takes a bit of meaning. You need a bit of like gusto behind what you're trying to learn. You're trying to learn an Aeroverse just for the sake of learning an Aeroverse, yeah, it'll feel good the first few times, but it'll get boring, just like doing cutbacks. It gets boring after a while. You need a reason behind why you want to land an Aeroverse. Maybe it's to show off to girls, right? Girls don't really give a shit, but if it's to show off the girls, then that's enough of a reason for you. Then by all means, that's enough of a reason. If it's to stomp one in your board riders comps so that you can finally win your first board riders comp, then by all means, start learning to do Aeroverses. That's enough of a reason to motivate you. Maybe your high school bully is your rival at board riders, and you want to learn an Aeroverse to show him I'm a better surfer than you, and to shove it up him after all these years of bullying you, right? That's a pretty strong reason and a strong, compelling reason to stomp an Aeroverse this year, right? Or a straight air, or doing a big hack or something like that. And the fear of launching off that end section, or the fear of breaking your leg, or breaking your neck, or landing on your fins, or getting fin chops, and hurting yourself doing airs, it leaves you. You just start hitting lips, and you just start chucking that thing out, and you start to stomp some airs as well, because your commitment is there. You don't have that fear. A lot of it is commitment. You land with straight legs because you're scared, or you fall back because you're not pushing forward and committing into the rotation and into the motion of the air. You're just sort of popping it and then just hoping for the best, and you're a bit scared of the landing. You really do have to commit to the landings, and a lot of the time, we're talking like 90% of the time, you're not going to have a bad stack. You'll have a stack, but you won't hurt yourself, and you won't get dumped that bad. So if you still have questions about, you're still scared of certain things, then put it in the comments. You don't have to say what your fear is, because it is quite a personal thing. Maybe you're scared of a certain guy out in the lineup, and he's quite aggressive and he's not nice to you, and you're scared of him. I'm going to do another video on like how to deal with surf violence, because it is a pretty big thing, and localism is starting to become like something more popular now. I went through a period in the 80s and 90s and 2000s where there was a lot of localism, a lot of like physical abuse, a lot of verbal abuse to keep the break, for the locals only. That's gone away, but then it's starting to come back, and I'm starting to see and hear, and there's a theme at the moment of like regulating your lineup and things like that. So, and it's good because it causes respect, and it causes people to respect each other. At the same time, there's a lot of abuse happening too. So I think it's good to demand respect in the lineup, but there's a limit to how you do it. I don't think you should be physically abusing anyone. I don't think you should be breaking their surfboard or hurting their possessions, or letting down their tires in the car park, or even just yelling abuse at someone. I don't think that's nice, especially young guys and young girls. Um, I think it should be a supportive sport, and people should be educated, but not abused. It's not a, it's that surfing's not the sort of sport. We don't want that sort of abuse in surfing. We want it to be a progressive place where everyone can improve and feel comfortable surfing. Anyway, that's enough for this video. Post your fears in the comments below. I really want to hear what your fears are, because then I can do other videos to direct and apply these videos to your actual problems that you've got. I'm sort of going blind, like I'm going with the stuff that I struggled with when I was a grom or when I was trying to learn airs. Like I can do straight airs and air reverses, but I still have fears, right? So I I really want to know what you're struggling with, even if it's just, hey Harry, I can't do a cutback, I keep bogging rail. Just send me the comment. I'll respond to you. I'll make a video about it. Okay. So if you're really scared, this local guy's abusing you in the surf, write it in the comments. I'll make a video about it. Don't have to be specific, right? But I'll help you out. And I'm here for the surfing community. Yes, I'm selling surf coaching, and I have an online surf academy. But at the same time, it's not a high, the surfing, coaching is not something where you get into it to be rich by any means. But I'm more so in this because I'm passionate about teaching people surfing. I'm not the best surfer in the world. I'm a reasonably good surfer, but I'm definitely not going to boast that I should be on the QS or anything like that. But I think that I really, really am passionate about helping people surf better and feel comfortable with learning to surf. And doing airs is something that I devoted like a lot of time and energy into, and got a lot of coaching to do it. And then now I really want to help other people learn to do airs as well. So yeah, ask me your advice. If you're interested in coaching and you want to level up your surfing progress really, really fast and know exactly what you need to do, we can get you stomping airs pretty quick and get you doing, we can get you improving your surfing at a pretty fast rate. Have a look at what we've got on our website, www.surfprecisionacademy.com.au. And so Surf Precision Academy is essentially just an online platform, and we have a library of online courses that take you through step by step in detail on any maneuver that you want, pretty much. And it also has direct access to the coaches, so you can just get mentored when you're on there as well. So if you're in the course, you're trying to do air reverses, watch the air reverse course, attempt your things, ask the coaches questions. We're here for you. That's the whole point of it. We want to get you landing airs, and keep mentoring you to become an even better surfer. So you can also send through your videos as well. We do reviews, and then also you've got access to a community of other surfers that are also in the academy, and they're also learning airs as well. So you can get tips off of them too. Anyway, that's enough for this video. And yeah, comment below, like the video if you think it was somewhat helpful for you, and share it with a friend as well. If you've got a grom or a mate of yours that is struggling with fear, or they want to get better, share the channel, share the video. Happy for you to share it around.